Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Also drop a like on this video, only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference. There's a reason why YouTubers ask you to do it. It really helps the video perform better. So I know you're hearing me say drop a like right now and you're not doing it when it's literally the easiest thing ever. You could just do it. So yeah, anyways, this is Hot Takes. You know the drill. It's a day late because it's a day late. That's how life goes sometimes. I don't know what to tell you. Jordan Poole will be better than Klay this season because Klay is coming off of 2 crazy injuries. I don't know that I'm going to say yes to that, but I do think it's well within the realm of possibility. And in fact, there's probably going to be a video tomorrow or the day after talking about Klay Thompson and what we can expect from him this season, because he is coming off of a torn ACL followed by a torn Achilles and not having played basketball since I was a teenager. So that is quite a big deal, and I don't know why people are acting as though, oh yeah, Klay coming back in the same form as he was is like a guarantee. There's a very real chance he's just not as good as he was. And with that said, with how the strides that Jordan Poole has shown in the preseason, I don't think that's a crazy take. I think probably the best lineup for the Warriors would actually be Poole at the 2 and Klay at the 3 long term, but we'll have to wait and see. Lonzo Ball will have an MIP type season and be in all-star conversations this year. You know, as much as I would like that to be true, I'm going to bet against it, just simply being the 4th option in the offense, even if he's probably in the best system for him to get assists that he's played in his career, other than maybe what his first year in New Orleans should have been. But Zion played so few games, and then his second year when he was playing with Zion, he was relegated to a second option rather than him just running pick and rolls all the time. Or not a second option, sorry, a spot up option rather than him being primarily a playmaker. So yeah, I don't think he's had the proper opportunity to really showcase his playmaking until now. So that could be a reason for him to elevate his game and get into MIP conversations. That said, don't think it's happening. Would love to be wrong though. From Click Productions, Frank Ntilikina is the best defender in NBA history. I mean, who am I to argue? Your tweet ratioed mine, so I guess you're just correct now. Frank Ntilikina is a damn good defender, and if he's even a league average 3-point shooter, he's definitely an NBA player. It's just he has not been able to piece that part of his game together. But as good of a defender as he is, if he just hits his open threes, he is a rotation player for a long time in the league, because he's a damn good defender. Brandon Ingram is better than Zion long-term for the Pelicans to build around. That's not true, because Brandon Ingram's ceiling is not the best player on a championship team, and Zion's is. Even if you want to factor in injury, I would much rather build towards Zion being my best player than build towards Brandon Ingram being my best player, because you're not going to go particularly far with Brandon Ingram as your best player, even if he takes further strides in his game. I just don't think his all-around game is good enough. Even his scoring, like, he can be a black hole sometimes, and his efficiency isn't outstanding. So, like, absolutely not would I go with Brandon Ingram over Zion to build my team around. Even if you want to make a health argument, like, I'd rather just not build around anyone, period, between like either Zion or I'm trying something different. It's not building around Brandon Ingram. And that's not to say that Brandon Ingram's not a good player. He's just not number 1 on a championship team, nor does he have that potential, at least I believe. So yeah, no, I would not do that whatsoever. Jason Tatum is now better. Jason Tatum now is better than Carmelo was when he was on the Knicks or the Nuggets. So basically just peak Carmelo Anthony. I do agree, I'm only like slightly in this camp though. Like, I think it's relatively close. For what it's worth, to give Melo his credit here, from a scoring standpoint, I would give Melo a slight edge over what Jason Tatum is right now. Jason gets the edge on the fact that he shoots a lot of threes at a really efficient clip, but you can also say, hey, Melo that wasn't what the game was when Melo was at his peak, right? So that's fair. At the same time, there's also the fact that Melo averaged a higher volume of points relative to his era than what Jason Tatum has. 26 points per game, which is what Tatum averaged last year, is more impressive in 2008 than it is in 2021. And this might be something that I actually end up making a video on, but the pace and space and the way that has affected scoring in today's league is not credited enough. There's a reason why there's like 35 players last year or something close to that averaged 20 points or something close to 20 points last year. Like, it's just the way the league has gone is that 26 points per game, which is what Tatum averaged last season, isn't as crazy as it was back when Melo was averaging 26 points per game. So from a scoring standpoint, I would give Melo the edge there. Their efficiency career-wise is relatively close to league average for both of them. But Jason Tatum is a significantly better defensive player, and I'd say a good bit better of a playmaker, and rebounder is relatively close, but definitely a better playmaker. I would say like definitely a better playmaker. And then Jason Tatum, underrated defensively entirely. One of the best defensive wings in the league, really big, really versatile, can defend 1 through 4, even defend a majority of 5s just because there aren't that many 5s that are like that skilled in the post in today's league. So the defensive ability that Tatum has, on top of the fact that he's a better playmaker and a better three-point shooter, I'd give him a mild edge over a Pete Carmelo Anthony. And that goes to show how good Jason Tatum is. That's not even really a knock on Melo. So yeah, I'm sure that take will piss people off, but talking about Carmelo Anthony, he's one of those players that has a rabid fan base, so you can never really win unless you're just sucking the guy off, and I'm not going to do that. Well, I meant like metaphorically, but also literally. Anyways, on with the next take. Kyle Kuzma has all-star potential playing with Beal next year. Well, I don't know how Beal comes into play here, really. You just make the argument of more opportunity, and that has nothing to do with Beal. It's just that Kuzma could very well find himself as the second scoring option. Although Spencer Dinwiddie would probably get more scoring touches than Kyle Kuzma. I mean, if you want to argue that Kyle will average like passably efficient 18 points per game like he did in his second year, sure. Is that all-star potential? Absolutely not. For him to make that kind of leap, I just don't think he's good enough to do something like that, so I wouldn't bet on that. James Harden does not contribute to winning basketball. This is just objectively false. James Harden has been the best player on multiple 50-win teams, multiple teams that had real championship aspirations, and to say that he did not contribute to winning basketball is just incorrect. Like, if you want to say his play style at the highest level has flaws that prevent him from being the best player on a championship team, I would heavily disagree with you, but to some extent I could see your argument there. But to say that he hasn't contributed to winning basketball is more than winning championships. If you have been in the playoffs for like your entire career, even with good rosters and bad, as James Harden has been, then you're contributing to winning basketball. Maybe not at the highest level, but definitely contributing. And he's definitely contributing to the Brooklyn Nets and their basketball next season, as he did last year in the limited games that he did play. So that's just a ludicrous, and just blatantly false take. Scotty Barnes will be the best player from this draft class 5 years from now. You know, I have only seen like 2 different halves of preseason games with the Raptors, and I watched a little bit of Summer League with Scotty Barnes. The one thing that stands out by far has been his playmaking. I know in his last game, even though I didn't watch that one, he had 8 assists in that game. And I follow a lot of Raptors fans, and I've seen some discourse around him. I'm only basing this on a very small, minute amount of information. But yeah, Scotty Barnes has been really impressive to me. That said, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green are going to be the 2 best players in this draft class. I'm relatively confident Scotty Barnes will not pass them, but the length that he has, the way that he moves is really interesting to me, which I realize is not really like a basketball take, but just like he has interesting movement in a way that's positive. It's just like really weird and interesting to watch. And then defensively, very versatile, and offensively, the playmaking coming out of like, what is he, like 6'10", something like that? A big forward regardless. It's impressive. And overall with the Raptors, we've seen OG and Anunoby doing more shot creation stuff, which is exactly what I was hoping for this year, hitting some step back threes and stuff like that, which is making my MIP pick feel even more secure now. I'm actually kind of down for what the Raptors are doing right now, which I've been a detractor and a guy who's pretty much always negative on the Raptors the past couple of years, but I have liked what I have seen from them thus far, other than Gary Trent Jr., who I really like kind of stinking it up. But it's preseason. Not going to read into it too much. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best player in the draft class, but I do agree that Scotty Barnes is a very interesting and probably going to end up being a very good player. Simmons would do what Giannis does if he had a team built like the Bucks and a great coach. You know, this basically implies that if you swapped Ben Simmons and Giannis, the results would be the same. Giannis would be, passing up dunks in the paint. He would be shooting the ball 1 time in the 4th quarter over 4 playoff games, elimination playoff games, that he would shoot 30% from the free throw line, that he would not be aggressive at all, that he wouldn't take threes. He does take threes now. This is a ludicrous take that I hear all the time. And look, I made a Sixers series in 2K21 on the Sixers where I built around Ben Simmons with the notion that Ben Simmons would, to some extent, play similarly to Giannis. Now, he only averaged like 22 points per game in this simulation, whereas Giannis is like a 30-point-per-game guy. But regardless, that was with the hope that building around him perfectly would make him more aggressive and such, and having all the spacing out there would make it easier for him. And I do agree to an extent that doing that would make Ben's life easier and he'd be able to fully reach his potential. That said, there is a mental aspect on top of a skill aspect that makes Giannis what he is versus what Ben Simmons is. And it's not a matter of being the size and having the speed and the athleticism that these guys do, because there are other players throughout league history, not just Ben Simmons, who have the size, who have the length, who have the leaping and running ability, who can dribble the ball even, and they're not Giannis, because there is a mental side, which is the guy who just knows he's big and can run into the paint every time. Like, that is not as easy as you might think. Being big does not necessarily mean you can just replicate that immediately. People love to take that away from Giannis, but it takes a mental aspect to the game. I keep touching my head like I'm Melo celebrating a three-pointer. But you have to have the mental fortitude and the mindset to attack in the way that Giannis does, and that goes far beyond the scheme and the offensive talent around you. Giannis, if he took Ben Simmons' place, even though that's not a good fit with Joel Embiid, the Sixers would have definitely beat the Hawks, and they would have made the finals even. Like, they probably would have won. Like, and that's knowing that Giannis and Embiid is a weird fit defensively. Holy Christ. Imagine trying to score on that team. But even though you can kind of say the same thing with Ben Simmons and Embiid, but Giannis is better than Ben Simmons defensively. So no, I don't agree with that take whatsoever, and I think it's a very lazy take. I think Ben Simmons will be a lot better in a system better implemented around him. But to go from what Ben Simmons is with the Sixers to Giannis is an unbelievable leap, and it takes more than just spacing. Because we've also seen Ben Simmons with good spacing before. It wasn't Giannis. So yeah, that was Hot Takes. Goodbye.